expose. I came in this business saying I was going to expose.
The head of one of the oldest institutions on Earth on Friday issued a warning about the future. Pope Francis told G7 leaders that artificial intelligence must never gain the upper hand over humanity. He said AI represented an epochal transformation for mankind.
Condanneremo l'umanità a un futuro.
Pope Francis here in Italy. He's traveled from St. Peter's Square to take part in these G7 talks for the first time as leaders tackle the ethical issues of artificial intelligence. The Pope has spoken out about what he calls the perverse dangers of AI after being the victim of a deepfake photo last year. That image showed him in a full-length white puffer coat. Pope Francis says in the wrong hands, artificial intelligence could lead to disturbing scenarios and is calling for countries to sign an...
In his remarks, he said that AI risked undermining human dignity and, in particular, condemned its use in warfare. Referring to what he called lethal autonomous weapons, he urged leaders to ban their use, saying, quote, "No machine should ever choose whether to take the life of a human being."
Wars drive advances in technology. The longer a war drags on, the greater the push for innovative tech to drive results on the battlefield. The First World War gave us tanks, the Second World War, the atomic bomb. Today, the world is witnessing two major wars, Israel's war in Gaza and Russia's invasion in Ukraine, and artificial intelligence has entered both these battlefields. AI is being used by the soldiers fighting these wars. Or you could say, AI is the new soldier in these wars. Israel's AI soldier is called Lavender. It's a killing machine. It spits out lists of targets.
According to Israeli investigative journalists at 972 Plus magazine, Israel has been using an artificial intelligence machine called Lavender to identify thousands of potential Hamas targets in Gaza. The report says Israeli intelligence sources who served in the current war told how Lavender collects information on almost all the 2.3 million residents of the Gaza Strip through a system of mass surveillance, and on a scale of 1 to 100 gives a likelihood that each person is a member of the military wing of Hamas. Being in a WhatsApp group with a known militant, changing address frequently, or swapping phones every few months could all be factors in the machine determining potential targets to kill. The report claims that after October the 7th...
So, on a world stage, in front of developing nations, and in front of reporters, and in front of the world, this man got up there and started capping. Okay? So I can't take anything that he says seriously. This is all window dressing. You understand? Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to the IG family and shout out to the YouTube family. Salute. Happy Juneteenth to everybody in the building. By a show of hands, how many people have the day off? I'm not talking about you entrepreneurs who got the day off every day. We ain't talking to the self-employed. We ain't talking to the nail technicians that got off every day. What I want to know is who really got the day off from the plantation, you dig? Because to be honest with you, and no disrespect to anybody involved in Juneteenth, but that's really the, you know what I mean? That's the freeing of the slaves, that you don't got to get up wild early and punch in and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Because other than that, niggas is in bondage. I don't know what they told you. I don't. Federal holiday. Oh, that means that, okay, so if you don't work at the bank or with the feds and whatnot, your ass had to go to work. Man, well, salute to you. You know what I'm saying? We'll make sure this one here is safe for work. You dig? And we won't get nobody in no trouble and whatnot. But please listen to this on your headphones. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I don't want y'all to come and work for us nail technicians and whatnot because you got in trouble because you had red pill on a Bluetooth. But all I want to say is greetings to everybody. That's right, Nashawn. Richfield and friends present the pop out. Sometimes you gotta show niggas we outside and whatnot. Today is that day. Everybody in LA going to the Kendrick affair. Please be safe and whatnot. I heard that you could watch that online. If anybody has the link for the festivities and whatnot, send that. You feel me? Send that. You feel me? Because I definitely want to see what the brother Kendrick has up his sleeve and whatnot. He's gonna have LA lit today. You know what I'm saying? The festivities are on. Shout out to the Atlanta family. There's some things going on, but I don't know what it is. You feel me? I don't know what it is. You let me know. I do know this strong end at Piedmont Park. We will be celebrating with the brother Bob. Brother Bob has the Juneteenth celebrations, and that's gonna be lit. You know what I'm saying? We'll be there for that. I'm not gonna be vending, I'm gonna be promoting and moving around and whatnot. I'm not gonna be vending, I'll be promoting. You feel me? So we'll be out there and you'll see us and whatnot. And I'll be looking to see who I see. You feel me? I'll be looking to see who I see. But yeah, man, there's some things that we need to talk about. There's a lot going on in the news and whatnot. You know, let me put this music on. Shit, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I mean? We in the mood. We in the mood. Let's get a little bit of mood music going and whatnot. You feel me? Here we go. It just makes everything a little more suspenseful. You dig? Let's do some roll calls and see who's in the building. How rude of me. You know what I mean? It's only right to do roll calls and tap in. Feel me? It's only right. Yes, Bob has been the head of 30 plus years in the A, so we have to celebrate the good brother Bob Johnson. He said, "Why are we looking at the screen, Red? I'm in dark mode. That's why." You feel me? We in dark mode. You know, this is the blackout. Yes, come to Piedmont Park and see the parade. I got invited to be a participant in the Juneteenth parade for Piedmont Park, and I might be there for that. I might be in the parade. I might be parading. Let's do the roll call though. Let's see who's in the building. Harlem is in the building. North Oakland is in the building. San Francisco in the building. You did. Shout out to y'all. Let's get up to 50 likes. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do my part. You just do your part. Hit them likes. We got LA in the building. You feel me? We got Hampton in the building. North California in the building. Smyrna, Georgia. Miami-Dade County. Cleveland. What's happening? Happy birthday, Candy Acid Rain. Salute to you. Another trip around the globe and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You've been doing your thing. Continue to do such. Baltimore in the building. Shout out to B-More. Shout out to Fayetteville. All right. Gray Court, South Carolina, Texas, Detroit. We got Queen City in the building. We got Kansas. T-Dot. It's a global affair. Cleveland, Ohio. Soundview. You know what I'm talking about? Flint. North Hollywood. Kansas City. Bed-Stuy, do or die. Today is my bro. There's a funeral for one of my brethrens, brother by the name of Jay out of Clinton Hills. Shout out to A.A. Rashid, Ashraf, and everybody that's going to be celebrating that brother's life. You know what I mean? A legend. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, salute to him and his family. And may his spirit continue to thrive. You feel me? He's an immortal now. Ethiopia's in the building. We got Hawaii in the building. I don't. We got South Bronx. We got Shreveport tapping in. I don't think there's nothing more to be said. The globe is tapped in. We made sure of that with the roll call. We got T-Dot, Hawaii, and Ethiopia. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Let's just start talking. So, okay, Mystic Philly. Yes, indeed. Mystic Philly. I see you, man. Fire vibes. We have an expat living in Mexico. Send me a ticket. Send me a ticket. You know what I mean? That whole expat conversation is beginning to gain more steam these days. You know, I got passport bros sending me screenshots, and you know, they kind of flexing right now. You know what I mean? They sending me pictures from Colombia. You feel me? The conversation that was being had a few years ago where people were like, Red Pill, what you mean you want to leave America for a few months or for a year? I'm American born and raised. I'm not leaving America. There's no reason to leave America. Why would you want to leave America, Red? Oh, you running from it? Oh, you running from your problems? Oh, you think you could run away? And I said, nah, I'm just exploring. I feel like there's more to see around the world other than I-95 in the 50 states. You know what I mean? Like, I want to expand the possibilities. Like, I do a little bit of Forex trading and whatnot, but truth be told, like, I want to really spend those foreign dollars. You know what I mean? I just don't want to trade them. I want to hold them in my hand. Like, I want to see what the economy is doing in places where they have these top 10 economies. And America is not the top 10 economy. It's not even top 20, I don't think, with the dollar. There's economies that I never heard of before that's booming and whatnot. So I'm like, shit, why am I limiting myself? It's not even an economy thing. It's really a culture thing. I know people who be in Thailand, and I know people who they're in places like Asia. I know some people that went into the Caribbean, South America, Central America, you know, Belize and whatnot. They got fam in Bermuda. Like, a lot of people in my circle have expanded, and they, you know what I'm saying? They've been moving around, bro. You feel me? And it's not like they running back to America saying, yeah, I couldn't take it out there. The mosquitoes are too much. That's not what they saying. You know, people's skin is clearing up. Edges is growing back. People looking happy and whatnot. They looking satisfied and fulfillment. You feel me? So in a day and time where there's all kind of turmoil on the horizon, there's wars and there's rumors of war. There is inflation out the wazoo. Meanwhile, people is going to Thailand and they living on $500 a month. And not to say, you know, because there might be somebody in the audience that's like, man, that, you know, I want to spend it all in America. I got, you know what I'm saying? You know, I want $1,000 steaks, and you know what I mean? And you know, that sounds like you just trying to penny pinch. Nah, not at all. But I know when I'm getting fleeced. I come from New York, Brooklyn to be exact, where back in the days, before they started, you know, getting money other ways, they used to have this thing called digging pockets. You know what I'm talking about? Dudes from Nostrand Avenue and Bed-Stuy was famous for that. That's why they used to wear New Balance and whatnot, because it's a running shoe. They would go into Midtown Manhattan, Wall Street to be exact, early in the morning. We talking 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and they would dig pockets. I feel like the government, Uncle Sam, and all of these people who I don't know, the bankers and whatnot, yeah, I feel like they dig in my pockets and running away. Every time I step out the house, they dig in my pockets. And it's like, y'all could stand around as consumers and be consumed and whatnot, but I don't think that that's what I incarnated in this lifetime, to be a mindless consumer and just be on this hamster wheel, you know what I mean, letting these people eat on me, because it feels like parasites and you know, it just feels like I'm being fed off of by energy vampires and shit, by these bill collectors, these hook noses, you know what I'm talking about? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. So I'm ready to explore. You feel me? I'm ready to move around. I'm ready to be a global citizen. I'm ready to see what the culture is like, because I am culturally wealthy. And what that means is I have many of the you know, I have all 5 of the infinity stones of hip hop. I could DJ, I could dance a little bit. I'm an MC. I know how to do art, and I could have an intellectual conversation with anybody, you know, around the world and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I could hold my own. So I'm like, what's up with the cultural exchange and whatnot? Because that is a plus. People don't realize that, but that is a plus. You feel me? What I'm saying is a cultural exchange. As a black man and black woman, melanated man and woman, you are worth more than your weight. You are worth more than they tell you in America, outside of America. They don't let you know that, but just your cultural exchange alone, not even some certificates from some of these people, college, not even getting into all of that. Just the cultural exchange, things that you naturally have. Things that you naturally have attained by being born into this culture, that is transferable across the borders. They didn't tell you that, but them children in Russia will pay you to learn your culture, and then they'll give you some of their culture if you want it. I know somebody that went to China and they got their ones up teaching them people how to speak English. They wanted to learn broken English too, and they paying top dollar. Not to degrade you, not how people go into Dubai and get paid a few dollars to degrade themselves. You know what I'm saying? To sink further into the sunken place. Nah, not that type of exchange. More of a virtuous exchange where both people could walk out of the building with their heads high. You dig what I'm saying? Because if there's any type of exchange taking place and you lose you lose pieces of dignity in that transaction, you really got to ask yourself, was it worth it? You really got to ask yourself, who's pimping who? You really got to ask yourself, who's selling a piece of their self that should be non-transferable for a piece of paper? We not on that type of time. We don't promote that type of living and whatnot, or that liberty and whatnot. We don't get behind shit like that. We talk down to things like that because that's not how, you know, that's not how we supposed to be moving in any sense. I don't care if it's around the world or around the block. You know what I mean? We don't co-sign none of that. Remy Ma's son's name is Jason. That's an interesting story and whatnot. The sins of the mama, right? And the father. I didn't even know she had a son. I didn't even know she had a son. Did you? Did you know she had a son? I didn't. Now I do though, and I can't forget it because they just charged her son with a body, and they said possibly murder for hire. Oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm talking about? That's some heavy weight right there. She herself went to jail for shooting somebody, correct? She did 8 years for clapping something. And now her own son has to face, and she didn't go to jail for murder. She went for an assault. So they locked her son up in New York City over a 2021 fatal shooting in Queens and whatnot. And the son's name is Jason Scott and Richard Stewart. They was grabbed on first degree. A 43-year-old was gunned down in broad daylight. It's crazy. She just had a little Cinderella party, right? Cinderella theme party for herself. You feel me? So yeah. Yeah, I never seen Papoose with the son. You know what I'm saying? I seen Papoose with the daughter, but I never seen Papoose with the son. Yeah. Oh, it was a stabbing? Whatever the case. Yeah, he gotta fight that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fight that. Dude looked like he could have been the Pluggington, but yeah, you gotta fight that. It's a cold world out here. It's a very cold world out here. She just had an epic. She had a rap battle. Yeah, I was familiar with that. I was familiar with that. She got a whole rap battle league, Remy Ma, that is. People were rooting for her, saying that, she's getting her name back, she's back at it, they was rooting for the sister. So I definitely hope that everything is okay on in her life, because I don't, we don't kick nobody when they down. We don't kick nobody when they down. We do know that, it's a cold world out here, though. That's one thing that we can, it's a cold world. You know what I mean? And a lot of the parents, I'm seeing a lot of this whole thing with the parents and the children, the offspring and whatnot. And it couldn't have been no clearer of a sign about the parents taking full responsibility for their progeny, or what we would call their future, than this whole legislation coming down about the draft and whatnot. And I got people in my inbox trying to, they trying to make sense of this whole draft. Like, nah, it's just selective service, Red, and da 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 da. And I'm like, fam, I know what I'm seeing. Like, I know what I'm seeing with this whole situation. We don't have to. We don't gotta go through all of that. Don't send me through all of the fake shit. Like, it is what it is. I know what things gonna turn into. You might look at it from the perspective of what you're seeing now. The writing is on the wall. America is getting ready for a conflict. Whether this conflict is an internal conflict, a civil war, or whether this is a quote unquote global conflict with their newly avowed enemy called Russia. I know what I'm looking at. So for those who are so researched and whatnot, please do me a favor and keep researching. Cause that shit that you talking about, it's not landing, bro. I don't know what you talking about. What I do know is that this government does not have the able bodies that it needs to be running around the world acting like they a tough guy. They can't cash that check because they don't even have enough soldiers right now. The people who they had in the armed services, they done ran them raggedy over the past few years and whatnot. All of these tours of duty, you know what I'm talking about? All of these wars to hold up an imperialistic, these ain't no righteous wars. These ain't no just wars. You niggas was hired to be the quote unquote help. You was hired to be the help against an illegal war, a spiritual war nonetheless. You went over into an Islamic land. You went overseas on your G.I. Joe shit like you was upholding democracy. Didn't even know what the fuck democracy it really is. I'm going to save some. You ain't saved nobody. Niggas came home in worse conditions than they left in. The only thing that I see is a bunch of challenges and charges in the streets. I'm assuming that was a part of the GI package. And Dodge 451s. I mean, you know what I mean? Them trucks and whatnot. What the fuck? What else did you get from that deal with the devil? Please let me know. You know what I'm talking about? You got all of these people living through all of this mental turmoil. They got spiritual attachments. You went over there and you went around fucking around and found out, you know what I'm talking about? Them people fight spiritually. They put all kind of curses on you and your progeny, your children, and all kind of stuff. And people don't even know what they're looking at. So you got people coming home. How many suicides is it a day from the armed services? How many suicides is it a day? If you really went out there and it was some righteous shit that you did for your country, you niggas wouldn't be coming home stressed out. And then look how they treat all of the veterans from the wars before that. So do you know the majority of people who became crackheads in the 80s were the Vietnam veterans who lost that war? How you gonna lose in Vietnam? That's a very small country, fam. The crackheads were the veterans. Dead ass. I mean, the crackheads now is young niggas, but the crackheads, the first wave of crackheads, Gator and them, those were the veterans. Yeah, more homeless vets than anybody. So how is it that you fighting for your country to get a free stipend or coupons to live somewhere, but there's so many people without work, homeless? You didn't even form a paramilitary organization. You don't even have private contractor firms and Negroes fight in every single war possible. Korean, World War II, Desert Storm 1 and 2, but you don't have no private military corporations, no PMCs. Do you know what a PMC is? Do you know how many contracts you could have got with a PMC? You could have been guarding the projects. You could have been guarding these women that's out here getting done dirty. You could have been, instead of top flight security, you could have been a private military corporation. You could have had the finest of weapons. You could have been securing multi-million-dollar contracts with foreign nationals. You could have been protecting billionaires, millionaires, and thousandaires. There's so much that could have been done, but niggas ain't do it. So don't ever come and talk to me about the dreams of what's his name, Uncle Samuel. I ain't buying it. And you not getting my child. I'm not giving up my child for none of this shit. Are you dumb? Are you serious? You know what I'm talking about? Not doing it. And if you do it, that's on you. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. They're gonna put them damn babies on the front line and line them up against the North Koreans and Russia and the Chinaman, and it's gonna be ugly because them people is preparing for war. You heard Cardi B. You need me to remind you? You heard Cardi B. She said them is the TikTok generation. How they going to war? They out there doing the hip dance like Lil Uzi Vert. They're more Lil Uzi Vert than a big Uzi. These niggas wearing nail polish. They wild sassy. They learning TikTok dances, fam. They not ready for war. They ready to argue, but they not ready for war. Don't do that to them. And then to top it all off, the armed services is going to be pro-rainbow. So your drill instructor more than likely will have heels on with a beard all in your face, talking crazy to you, calling you all kind of names. You know what I'm saying? He got a BBL and whatnot. I ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. We not falling for it. You know what I'm talking about? We are not falling for it. They not gonna rock us to sleep with this one. Come on now. They didn't give the 3 elders from Tulsa, Oklahoma, their reparations. The Supreme Court shot them down. They told them people that they can't get any justice of the same week that they're talking about drafting these children into these armed services or armed forces. I'm not. We've been learning. Look, we've been in school. All of us have been in school learning from life. And what life has shown us is this country that we're in and whatnot, this de facto country, they don't give a damn about us. They never gave a damn about us. They're not going to start giving a damn about us. So one of the ways that you silently protest because you don't have the type of strength nor organization to push back or fight back, you just have to remove yourself from all of their duty. You dig? Fuck that duty. You know what I'm saying? They got people out here. They're actually going to deputize the migrants. Let me show you this article where your boy Joe Biden, he just made the call where they're going to make it to where the immigrants or the whatever they call them, the migrants are going to be able to get statehood. And with statehood, right, comes the quote unquote right to fight. Right? Paves the path. Right? They not dumb. They not stupid. You knew that they was doing this from the giddy up. Right? The same way. And you have to be a student of history to know what you're seeing when you see it, and don't get all emotional when you see things and get gassed up, because history will serve you. It will show you what it is that you need to know. They did this before. They brought in a boatload of Europeans in the 1800s, right? They flooded the borders with their quote unquote European ancestors, right? They wasn't here before that. I hate to, they were not, you know, people may think that America originally had wild Europeans. That's not how it was, y'all. It was mulattoes here. It was amalgamated Moors here. It was Indians here. It was indigenous people here. It wasn't a lot of these pale faces over here. That came when them damn ships and Ellis Island and all of that. That's why you got all of these states that are populated with nothing but Nordic people and whatnot. Those are newcomers. They were not here from the 1500s or the 1600s. That's not who was here. They're lying to you. Don't fall for the hokey doke. This was not a white nation. Truth be told, while you celebrating Juneteenth and whatnot, a lot of them people that was running people on them plantations look like you. And then they had a lot of them people on the plantations that look like them. Okay? So when you research orphan trains, how they was moving all of them orphans to these different cities and populating them, when you research the mud flood theory, when you research the quote unquote the immigration, how white people became white, you know what I mean? Then you'll begin to understand how America became white. Because truth be told, this term called white is really a status. And why do I say that? Because they were giving that shit out like welfare benefits. Because the Irish, when they initially came to America, they were not classified as white, nor were the Italians, and nor was what they call the Jewish today. None of them were considered to be white. They had to earn their whiteness. They had to earn their status. You understand? They were not white. But after they did a lot of little things with the paperwork, because these are paper tigers, these are paper terrorists, they run shit through the pen. The pen is truly mightier than the sword in America. Maybe not in other places, but the pen in America, oh man, that's the bazooka. That's the bazooka. So they changed a lot of things around. Yeah, the Cabbage Patch Kids. You feel me? You got to do the research on the Cabbage Patch Kids. When you look at pictures of what they call the Depression and whatnot, where did those little tattered looking Europeans come from? Why do they look so dirty and dusty and whatnot? Why do they look mangled? When you do a little bit of research on the Civil War, why was there white men with matted hair and no shoes running around like banshees and whatnot? Who are those people, right? Where did they come from? Those are not soldiers. They said that there was white men who were running crazy, some of them butt naked, you know what I mean? And they had matted hair, long matted hair, barefoot, mad dirty and whatnot, running down on niggas. Who was that? Who got freed? Who are these indentured servants? Go and check the chimney cleaners. Go and do the research on the chimney cleaners. Who's that? You know what I mean? Yeah, the Garbage Pail Kids, the Cabbage Patch Kids, the chimney cleaners, the Little Rascals. Come on, fam. The Little Rascal orphans, the orphan trains. Your man's in them. Yeah, that's Snow King and them ancestors. Go and ask Tommy Richardson where his people come from. Go and ask your man's in them where his people come from. Yeah, Santa Claus coming down the chimney. And who cleaned the chimney? A little Irish kid. Probably like 4 years old, they had him working. They had him in the factories, but they also had him on plantations. So they put the children in these factories during the industrial age and whatnot, when they started building the factories. But prior to that, those same children that they had working these machines that would mangle them and whatnot, they were on plantations up and down the South and in the North. Facts. So once again, who are the people in the Depression pictures? This is 1920. And according to the lies that they told us in school, by 1920, white people was balling and whatnot. They called it the Gilded Age. So why they look tattered and dirty and whatnot? And where's the pictures of our people in the 1920s looking dirty? You can't find them. Do you know why? Because if you go and look up the Cotton Club, if you go and look up Cab Calloway, if you go and look up all of these things and whatnot, this is how our people were truly pulling up in Model 4Ts and whatnot, long furs, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? How do slaves or how do Negroes have furs? Nigga. How, Sway? How do we have Josephine Bakers? It wasn't just one of them. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't just one of them. Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids with no belly buttons. These are the true Garbage Pail Kids. Okay? And they had Jewish people living in tenements and what they call ghettos. So if they lived in tenements and ghettos and they said that our class was above their class, where did we live? They were in tenements and ghettos. What was the movie? Gangs of New York. When you go and research the draft riots and whatnot. We was living. They was living amongst rats, mice, lice. They were in what is called the ghetto. We did not have a ghetto. We were not in tenements. So all of these things like the New Deal, redlining, World War I, World War II, these all have significance in the changing of the tide. Reconstruction, the rise of the Deep South, which I call the deep state these days, the rise of all of these quote unquote times in history. Most importantly, going to the Wilmington Massacre, 1898, right in North Carolina, when they had America's one and only coup d'etat. Why doesn't nobody teach about that? This was the only coup d'etat on American soil, right? This is before the new Black Wall Street, or this is before the Black Wall Street massacre that happened in the 20s and whatnot. This is 1898, right? When they ran down on the fusion government, and the fusion government was Black Republicans mixed in with Europeans and whatnot, and it was called the fusion government, and they ran down on them and wiped them out. And this coup d'etat, the reason why they call it a coup d'etat is because they immediately replaced all of the government in Winston, and they took the judges out. They took the quote unquote all of the government got wiped out, and they replaced it with the good old boys, Boss Hogg and Roscoe Biko training them. Okay, and that's what they call the Deep South, and they created a whole solid quote unquote political entity that took over the whole South after that. Henceforth, why you didn't find Negroes in office for about 100 years. About 100 years. You know what I'm saying? This was not done by mistake. So they've been lying through their crooked teeth. Henceforth, why I don't believe in nothing that they are out here trying to throw us. None of these chitlins that they trying to throw us and got us acting like this shit is a fur burger. No, it's not. It's the entails of a wicked beast, and I'm not eating it, and neither shall you. I'm not eating that right there. That's not food for thought. I'm not buying it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not buying it, and I suggest you inspect your food before you eat it. Take that one off for the motherfucking grill. You know what I'm talking about? That's mock meat right there. They throwing us mock meat. They not trying to feed us. Hit the likes. Hit the likes. So 500,000 immigrants could eventually get U.S. citizenship under a sweeping new plan from Joe Biden, right? What does that mean? That means that we are going to deputize them in time, right? We're gonna make them an offer that they can't refuse, because they already, you know, they beefed them up. They gave them, oh, you get a debit card. Oh, you guys get room and board and whatnot. Oh, we'll give you a scooter so you can ride around New York. Uber Eats will help you take over the rideshare business and whatnot. That's all y'all right there, right? So now that they have them behind the border and they beef them up and they fluff them up and whatnot, right? These quote unquote immigrants, they're going to be like, yo, we got to vote for Biden because Trump is talking about packing us up and getting us up out of here and whatnot. So with all of these new people that they done let come through the borders, they'll say, you know what? The same way that they do overseas in Tel Aviv and whatnot, you got to give us 2 years of your service. And then with 2 years of your service, you finna get that green card, and then boom, you're good. You're good by us. We'll never say anything to you again, and you'll be able to climb this ladder. And guess who's at the bottom of the ladder that we'll let you step on? You betcha. You already know it's those niggas. You know what I mean? Because that's the same thing that they told the Irish. That's the same thing that they told the Italians. And then that's the same thing that they told the Jews and whatnot. And then after that, they told that to the Caribbeans. Okay. Then they told that to the Africans. Then they told that to the Indians. And then they told that to the Chinaman. And then they told that to the Japanese. Because they don't want you to get what's rightfully yours. You see, none of these other people are a threat to the empire than the ones who they owe the empire back to. You are the owners of the empire. You feel me? You are the owners of this land. They're escheating the land. They're sitting on the land because they're saying that how could we give the land back to a minor? These are minors and whatnot. They don't think majorly. They're not moving like majors and whatnot. So as long as they remain minors, then these people are considered to be the what? They're your caretakers. Not only are they your caretakers, they're saying to themselves, well, we are the guardians of the gate. We're the guardians of the riches. We're the guardians of the land and whatnot. We are the wardens of the state. That's how they're moving around and treating our people who rightfully have rights to not just the land, but everything underneath it and everything above it and whatnot. It's all yours. Those mountains of you are yours. Do you know what those mountains hold inside of them? All of these mountains that we be driving by and we just think that that's a pack of dirt. No, let me remind you something. They got gold inside of mountains. Mountains are banks. They got quartz inside of mountains. They got silver inside of mountains. You dig? They got amethyst inside of mountains. They got emeralds and opals inside of mountains. Okay, that's all us. Let's not talk about the oil that's inside of the land. When you watch the movie Killers of the Flower Moon and whatnot, they showed that there was a tribe in Oklahoma, right? They got rich off of that land. Well, that's the same thing that happened in Oklahoma with Black Wall Street. They were oil rich. They don't tell you that. Whatever happened to those movies that they kept telling us that Oprah was going to do on a Black Wall Street? Is the budget that much? I mean, goddamn it. Do we got to throw a few dollars on a GoFundMe? Where's the movie at? Where's the TV show at? Niggas said that it was coming to Netflix. This was when Netflix was giving out DVDs. Like, what's the holdup? Where's the Taharka movie? Where's the Kemet movie? Where's the Moorish movie? What the hell? But I bet you that they got they out here rebooting Roots. Right, T.I.? They out here doing the Roots reboot. You know what I'm talking about? They doing all of that, but they can't give you no movie that's gonna quote unquote correct any of the lies that they told you. Do you know why? Because the CIA is running Hollywood. You know what I mean? That's why you'll never get any of the information that we've been waiting for, because we're waiting for these people who are all in bed with each other. The hook-nosed people that run Hollywood, that started Hollywood by putting out people in blackface And then what did they get rewarded? They got rewarded. How did they get rewarded? They got rewarded with citizenship by them being absorbed into the white status. That's what they did. They gave hook-nosed people the status of white because of what they did inside of Hollywood by depicting us as lower than. But let me show you something. Because we can't depend on Hollywood. We now have AI tools and we are going to make our own films. And we're not going to go to Hollywood to buy it from us. We're going to just put it out and whatnot. So here are some quote unquote tools that you can use instead of waiting for these people who hate you and their dominance in certain industries is dependent on your ignorance and the fact that you don't tell the truth. The minute you start telling the truth, they're going to break out in hides and whatnot, and they're going to try to shut down all of this technology. But you can't show your hands. You're going to have to hit them, and you can't be arrogant about it. You just got to hit them with the truth. And before they try to change, it's going to be too late. So you got ChatGPT, Jasper AI, Adobe Premiere Pro, Runway ML, Adobe After Effects, Color Lab AI, right? Boards, Copy AI. There's a whole bunch of tools. I'm just giving you a few of them. Okay? I'm just giving you a few of them. But we got to tell our own story. F that. We got to tell the Moorish story. Yeah, where's the Hannibal Lecter? Not Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal Barker movie. If you ask any elder who could remember, whose memory is intact, they will tell you when the Roots movie came out or the Roots series came out, it was protested against by a large contingency of our people, and that was the beginning of an end. Why is that? Because everybody did not agree with the narrative that the Roots movie was showing. They was like, that's a lie, that's propaganda. They out here trying to quote unquote, they rocking our people to sleep. And them people in Hollywood, they made sure that they put every single melanated person who was contracted to them in that TV show to make it seem like it was lit like that. You know what I mean? But we know that all of the Hollywood Negroes are compromised. We know because of what we've seen that we can't trust anybody in entertainment because all of those people are owned via contract. They can't celebrate Juneteenth. No disrespect, not at all. But them niggas is slaves and whatnot on paper. Not because Red Pill say I don't have no personal gripe against nobody. I'm just giving you the facts. They're owned in perpetuity via the paper. You see them on Unsung and Where Are They Now? They don't want to say it, but the truth is the truth, Ruth. Them people are owned. They got tricked into signing their likeness, their quote unquote names. They got tricked into signing their life away, fam. That's what happened. You know what I'm talking about? For the family on IG, real quick, y'all might want to join me on YouTube because, you know, this is only 1 hour long. They're going to cut the live in a minute and I don't want y'all to miss out. But I ain't going to be here for too long anyway. We're not going to make this a 3-hour soiree because I'm going to check out Kendrick Lamar. They Not Like Us. You know what I mean? I think they got the live show in LA. He going to pop out and show niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I'm rapping like I'm trying to free the slaves. There's nothing wrong with that. What I will not do is I will not act like because they gave us a federal holiday that everything is okie-dory and all is forgiven and it's time to spin the block with a Becky. I'm not doing it. I'm saying that we got a lot more work to do. We got a lot more freeing of the slaves, the mental slavery that they have our people locked in on. I can't stop. There's no time to celebrate. There's no time to kick your feet up. There's no time to hang out with Diddy and whatnot. Take that, and talk about you black excellence. We gotta have that conversation too. Like, what is black excellence? Because I'm seeing a lot of people who are the new Diddies in this community. The Diddy shit is being replaced by a new group of boule niggas who are running around with government. They running around with bankers. They're running around with the same people that Diddy was running around with in the beginning. And we just sitting around watching shit like that, not realizing what we seeing and whatnot. So we gonna have a show. I'm gonna have a panel, as a matter of fact, and it's gonna be called "What the Fuck is Black Excellence?" You know what I'm talking about? Because y'all gotta redefine what that shit is. Because what I'm seeing is there's no such thing as black excellence. That's an oxymoron, to be honest with you. But we gotta dismantle that. We gotta dismantle that. We gotta pick that apart piece by piece. And if we have to if we gotta reverse engineer it and put it back together, then so be it. But that shit is that's a false advertisement. Yeah, black excellence defined. Thank you. We need that. Because these babies is growing up thinking that black excellence is P. Diddy and them niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Or Revolt TV or something. We gotta have this convo. You know what I mean? We gotta cut all of the bullshit out if we're gonna move forward as a collective. Cause I can't move with no wacky ass people, bro. And I can't move with no people that's moving real wacky. You know? So make sure y'all hit the like button. I need to remind y'all that we have something coming up called When in Rome, right? When in Rome. And special announcement, we have Vicky Dillard. She's going to be our special guest on When in Rome. It's going to be a movie. You know what I'm talking about? I think we got Vicky on the show tomorrow and whatnot. I wanted to bring that divine feminine energy, that warrior energy to the conversation because, you know, she gets the job done. You feel me? She comes with receipts. She's a researcher and she got that talk for you. You know what I mean? So When in Rome, right? The Jason months is involving us forecasting what the next 6 months are going to look like. There's rumors that they're going to replace Biden with a new Democratic presidential candidate and whatnot, because the fact that, you know, he can't really, he might not be able to carry the Democrats into the promised land. So we may be looking at either Kamala or somebody else that they decide that they want to make for the replacement. So the shit show is definitely kicking up. You know what I mean? The shit show is giving what it's supposed to give. But we got Vicky Dillard, Red and Blue Pill, on June the 30th, which is on a Sunday. It's on Zoom only. For my Patreons and whatnot, we will see you in the building, my KT aliens. For everybody else, the link is in the bio so you can get your ticket. We priced it to where it's very affordable, very, very affordable. And you're going to get about 6 hours of some information, heavy research that you can't be talking about on YouTube and you can't be talking about on IG and none of these censored spaces and whatnot. We're going to be going very, very, very deep with it. You know what I mean? It will be recorded and it will be available for all ticket holders that you'll be able to watch it in perpetuity. You'll have the replay as soon as it's over. But yeah, we working and whatnot. I'm gonna be in my bag up until that day. Yeah, talk black to me. I'm gonna be in my bag up until that day. The research that I already has gotten is crazy. I'm predicting by the 30th, we will have a P. Diddy conviction. You know what I mean? They'll probably make their move by the 30th. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on before the 30th hits, because you already know how it is. You know, when we put that information out there, the great divine starts to speak through signs and it gives what it's supposed to give. It gives what it's supposed to give and whatnot. So we are, yeah, Kamala was in Atlanta with Quavo yesterday, right? She's campaigning. You never seen Kamala moving around like that until lately. So Kamala is Kamala in. You know what I mean? She didn't hop off the G5 with the Timberlands tucked and whatnot. But she did pull up to the A. You know what I mean? I think she went to Magic City last night and threw a few dollars and whatnot with Lil Meech and them. But she's trying to get inside of the community, you know what I mean, by doing communal shit. Okay? So we got our eyes on Kamala the Cat, you know what I mean? And everybody else that the Democrats are trying to roll out and whatnot. But I shit you not, from Project 2025, right? All the way up to what they're doing over there and Is It Real? All the way up to what Putin and all of his allies, the BRICS, right? All of these things, y'all, are beginning to show themselves. And, you know, we got to be very mindful. We got to be very mindful that the next 6 months is going to be full of, it's you know, it's going to be eventful. That's the best word that I could say. It's going to be eventful. It's going to be very eventful. So please be mindful of that. You know, do not be distracted. If you know what's right, don't be distracted. Don't let these people get you caught up in your emotions, your energy and motion, especially to the wizards out there. They are pulling a lot of strings, heartstrings. They're pulling a lot of strings, and they're beginning to roll out the fear campaign. Be very mindful about the fear campaign. You do not want to get put underneath this quote unquote fear mongering atmosphere. You want to be aware. You want to be informed. So when they do start their games and whatnot, you could just look at it and laugh at it and be like, nah, Red and them kind of put us on. You know what I'm saying? We not easily duped. We're not easily duped and whatnot, because I promise you, their propaganda shit is about to turn up. Their propaganda campaign, it's about to go stupid. You know what I mean? They need your energy. That's what they're harnessing. They need your energy and whatnot. So, you know, when people say they want to take back their energy, I would say that the best way that you could take back your energy is to turn everything off. If you got it like that, you know what I mean? If you built like that, you would put all of your devices away. You know what I mean? You would pull all, you know, keyword vices. You would put all of your vices away, and, you know, you would ignore anything that's going on around the world, because you know none of that has any effect on your world, especially if you don't agree to it. And you know what I mean? Especially if you're not quote unquote participating in it. You know, your world is your world. But for those of us who are part and parcel to the world, and we still have to deal with the world, you know what I mean? You get educated on what's taking place. You get a little bit more, because the number one thing that sets me off when I try to talk to people about what's going on the global affairs, they say, damn, Red, it's too much going on. I don't understand it. Well, what that means is you don't understand it. So you should, you know, you should take some time to understand it, because you don't want to be in the dark. Because when you're ignorant to something, or when you're in the dark about something, you could easily be swayed. And what's taking place right now is propaganda is at an all-time high. You feel me? Propaganda is at an all-time high. What that means is they are propagandizing a lot of shit. You feel me? They're propagandizing your news. They're propagandizing your social media. They're propagandizing everything that you're seeing. So you got to be aware of the fact that you may be lied to. Okay? You're being lied to. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to show this video real quick. I can't show the whole video because it's somewhat lengthy. Okay? But I'll show a little bit of
Orthodox Jew, and I've known Drake for over 15 years.
Not that one. This one, right? Where this guy is attempting to explain some things. So let's check this out.
Watch this now before they take it down. Quick. And share this as far as you can. Germany, pre-World War I, believed their sufferings were from the Khazarian Jews from the land of Prussia. The Khazarians were the bankers that were controlling all of Europe after the Spanish Inquisition through usury and interest. Their name was Rothschild or Red Cross. Germany was prepping to be the economic superpower over Europe. The Khazarian central bankers of France and Britain saw this as a threat, but did not have the funds to take down Germany. They drafted up a scheme to use America to fund the World War I with the newly minted Federal Reserve. Britain and allies were borrowing money from the new Khazarian Federal Reserve, which eventually led America into war. Germany was tricked as the bankers planted a madman as a leader. Hitler was planted to scare all other nations to help the allies and central banks. Hitler was a double agent working for the bankers and his own government. The plan was to get the entire West under debt. The bankers from Prussia were and are the real Nazi Party. Prussia was beaten by Russia in the 1700s and was forced to choose a different religion other than paganism. They chose Judaism and mixed it with Baal worship or Baal, forming Kabbalism under Zionism. Those are the Zionists. They conditioned, brainwashed, and used Hitler to bring in the brown coats, brown shirts, and laws against the Germans. The Red Cross, or Rothschild dynasty, played all sides of Britain and the surrounding countries, including Germany. The Red Cross works for the Jesuits, or the so-called Khazars.
Yeah. We'll play more of that during the lecture. You know what I mean? We'll break down some of the things that this man was talking about, and it will make more sense as to who is, quote unquote, running the show, right? And who's not running the show. You said you can't watch The Boys. Yeah. Yeah, the Boys is, you know, it has agendas in that show. You know what I mean? It has agendas in that show. I was watching BMF and they had agendas all in that show. I mean, every show on cable right now is filtered with what they call the agenda. You got to skip through stuff like that. You know, you got to fast forward when you see two men being zesty towards each other and you know, shit like that. You know what I mean? You got to just skip through it. But you know, when it comes to those videos like I just played, you have to be very careful because that's the stuff that they're censoring. You could lose pages effing around with revealing too much on these open platforms. Keyword open platforms. You feel me? The closed platforms, you have more leeway, but this Instagram or Meta is similar to being on a train having a conversation about some deep shit. And I ain't talking about the trains in New York because everybody's on the train. I'm talking about Amtrak, where everybody is listening to every word you say and they'll call the police on you. You know what I mean? Or it's like being in the airport and having a political conversation on the plane. You are going to set it off. You're going to get people to, quote unquote, try to censor you. So that's like talking on YouTube and Meta right now. It's an open air, quote unquote, prison. You know, the sentinels or the algorithm is going crazy. It's going crazy. You know, The Boys is a documentary. Yo, The Boys, yo, this season of The Boys, remember when I was telling people how Homelander is really Trump, right? And how they were fashioning this whole thing with The Boys and whatnot with Homelander. Let me go ahead and just go and pull it up, the article, because I have to be mindful that people that are watching this have no idea what the hell a Homelander is or what The Boys is and whatnot. But I'm gonna just briefly show you. This new season, season 4, shit crazy. And they transformed them because it wasn't like that in the other seasons. But this season, it is clearly apparent. They are not hiding it anymore that Homelander has become Trump. Okay. And while they're seeding, because it's still programming, while they're programming their audience with this propaganda and whatnot, they're also, you know, they're helping to radicalize the Trump audience. They're helping to push this quote unquote radicalization of this impending civil war amongst these crazy ass, mentally challenged group of individuals that our people, well, not our people, just people with a tan, melanated people, they've also bought into the hoopla. Okay. So we might have to be dealing with these people in the future, people that look like us, along with these crazies and whatnot, because it is what it is, bro. It is. I mean, the writing is on the wall, and I'm not no Democrat. I'm not into this political shit, but they are declaring war on woke folk. And they don't have a distinction when they say woke. It's any nigga who's not a knuckle dragger to them. Anybody who's not a complete 85er or a knuckle dragger or a drill rapper, you woke. And they're creating very, very apparent tension for anybody that's up there standing on their business. You know what I'm saying? Standing on their quote unquote on their morals and their laurels, right? Anybody questioning the narrative, that's where all of that CRT, what was that shit where they took the textbooks out and everything? You know what I mean? Oh, you're trying to take down the statues of the white supremacists, all of that. Yeah, that's woke. And to them, they will kill. Moving forward, they're ready to kill. They're ready to purge. Okay. They're ready to wipe shit out. Right. Just to make sure that this empire is staying in power. Now, what people don't know and what they may not be familiar with, shout out to B Dell and whatnot. I saw a video that B Dell put up there. Okay. And B Dell was talking about Project 2025 and how Project 2025, which is a 900-page document about the transition into the Trump presidency, right? It's a transition into the Trump presidency, and it's basically a 900-page manifesto on how they're going to transform America, or the United States of America, into a conservative Christian country. The exact same thing took place when Benjamin Netanyahu and his far-right government took over. They transformed Is It Real into a conservative Zionist nation. And now you could look over there and see that it's mirroring Hitler's Germany. It may even surpass them in terms of the type of iniquities that that's taking place with them people over there. And that also happens to be one of the top places where all of the PDF file people are hiding out because they don't have any extradition laws. That is a rest haven for PDF files. It's supposed to be a holy land, but it's the rest haven for the most SA and PDF file people in the world. Right? So yeah, man, shit is crazy. But Homelander, for anybody that's not familiar, he is the evil Superman, or he would be the evil the TV show The Boys is a flip on Marvel Universe, and it's a flip on the DC Universe. But the shit is so good that they are attributing this show for being the show that killed the Marvel Universe. This show right here is so popular, and it exposed the hypocrisy of the superhero genre, that this show right here, it killed Marvel and DC. Nobody want to watch that shit no more. They want to watch this crazy shit because these niggas go, they off the chain. Shit that they be doing is he's he's considered the top villain right now, because he's scary. And that's who Trump is in the eyes of the writers. Keep in mind, the writers are writing these stories and they're fashioning these characters after real life characters. And Donald Trump and Homelander are doppelgangers. Okay. Yeah. And they killed off Kang. They killed off Kang because Kang was going to come through and he was going to change things around. He was going to change things around. He was supposed to bring back the quote unquote Marvel universe as the black villain and whatnot. And they put a lot behind him, but they basically pulled the plug on that. And I believe that they're moving into the Secret War story and whatnot, but it's not enough. It's not going to bring Marvel back. They're basically dead in the water, and they running around, pushing the Boys, the series and whatnot, as the one that killed it. So yeah, man, check this out.
Of me and him in the nightclubs before I was religious. I'm an Orthodox Jew, and I've known Drake for over 15 years. Here's a video of me and him in the nightclubs before I was religious. Somebody just sent me the ridiculous video from Kendrick Lamar dissing my boy Drake. And there's one thing that stood out to me that kept on repeating itself over and over in the song. Kendrick Lamar keeps on saying, "They not like us." And Kendrick, you are absolutely right. Drake is not like you. Because Drake is a Jew. He's the son of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's part of the Jewish people, part of the greatest story ever told. Now, Drake, like many others, is lost in the world and doesn't always know how to reveal his Jewish soul. But when you say, "They not like us," you're 100% right. He's not like you. He's royalty. So to my boy Drake, I hope this reaches you. Remember, they are telling you very clearly, you are not like them. You are a Jewish man. Be proud, be loud, and stand up and be counted for who you truly are.
Who are also the Society of Jesus, and also known as the Jesuits. Their heritage goes back to Samaria, Assyria, and ancient Egyptian pharaoh family bloodlines. Some historians have connected the bloodlines to even Mesopotamia and Gilgamesh, even to Nero and Rome.
Keep in mind, for everybody out there hugging their ankh and whatnot, Kemetic bloodlines and Egyptian bloodlines are completely different from one another. When you see the movie Cleopatra on Netflix, it explains to you how Egypt was created when they basically sacked Kemet and they took out Cleopatra. That's the beginning of what we know as Egypt. Okay, the Greco-Roman version of Egypt, when they took over, when they invaded and whatnot, and they have these European blended pharaohs and whatnot, looking like, no, that's not Kemet, that's Egypt. Big difference.
The Society of Jesus controls the Catholic Church under the current family of Orsini. Germany had loans with the Red Cross and was tired of their control. According to Wikipedia, this is what the world wants you to know. World War I's excuse was the German government believed that the onset of war and its support of Austria-Hungary was a way to secure its place as a leading power, which was supported by public nationalism and further united it behind the monarchy. A month after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie on July 28, 1914, the Austro-Hungarian government declares war on Serbia. Immediately, and within a period of 6 days, European countries declare war upon each other. But the actual records, if you dig deeper, was that Germany wasn't going to pay back their loans to the central banks. France and London both controlled Germany, and Germany wanted to be the superpower. And according to the German leaders, the Jewish Khazarians from modern-day Ukraine, that was Prussia, were the curse upon the world. They knew they were not the real Jews of the God of Jacob and posing as God's chosen. They decided, Germany, through the Gestapo's influence, to try and wipe out the bloodlines of Mesopotamia, or the sons of Cain. The Gestapo in Germany was actually under the control from Hitler, who actually was a turncoat for his own country. So even though the leaders of Germany wanted to get rid of the Khazars, unfortunately, the Khazars were one step ahead of them. 1 year before World War I, the Federal Reserve was created. The central banks of Europe didn't want to fund the wars. Once the war started, Britain borrowed from the United States. Brand new Federal Reserve since Liberty Bonds failed, which was public donations. Nobody wanted to go to war. Britain borrowed from the Bank of France and the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve borrowed from the central banks too as well.
Yeah, war is a racket. War is a bag. War is population control. You know, if you pay attention to all of the machinations of what's going on around the world, be it the whole BRICS, right? The whole BRICS thing, from Putin meeting with Kim, right? And them signing an agreement that they're going to be, quote unquote, locked in, right? North Korea, to the war games that you see taking place off the coast of Cuba with Russia right now, to what is taking place in Africa with them running down and kicking France up out of there. And then they have Russia as their, quote unquote, you know, as the big homie, right? To support them. And then when you see the BRICS and with the petrodollar being dropped from Saudi Arabia, and BRICS forming their quote unquote blockchain, their new quote unquote blockchain, right? There's a lot of moving pieces, right? I mean, we could talk about your man P. Diddy and other things, but there's a lot of moving pieces going on around the world and whatnot. And I'm saying that only because we are parents, myself included. We deserve to know some of the real things that are not what they're selling us through MSNBC, right? Because what they want to do is they want to sacrifice the firstborn. They want to sacrifice the quote unquote chosen people. It's that time. These people are talking about, they're about to sacrifice these 3 red heifers over there in Al-Aqsa Mosque over there in Jerusalem. So they're preparing for their Messiah. And in order for them to prepare for their Messiah, and they're also moving for their Antichrist. That's why the Pope was addressing the G7 summit, talking about the rise of AI. It's through AI that you'll get transhumanism. Transhumanism is only code word for them creating the Antichrist. Christ, or what they call their anti-Messiah. It's going to be robotic. It's going to be transhuman. It's going to be mixed with this technology that all of these Israel companies like OpenAI and all of them are backing. Okay, we have a show that we did, I believe in October. It's called Behold the Pale-Faced Horseman, and it's talking about the four horsemen: Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Andreessen Horowitz from A16Z company, which is one of the funding companies, the main angel investors or the main funders for all of these tech companies. All of the big tech companies have to go through A16. Okay, those are the ones who cut the check, right? But these are all of the new quote unquote horsemen, the pale horsemen. There's a book that they wrote about them. I don't have the name of it in front of me, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? So whenever you hear the Pope talking about artificial intelligence, you need to understand what that ultimately is saying underneath it all. They are pushing because that's Babylon, that's Bobby. They can't speak for nobody but Babylon. They can't speak to nothing but the quote unquote iniquity and the lie. So what he's pushing and what they're promoting is the rise of this false Messiah. So they need to shed the blood of the true and living lost tribes, and that will be the first sons. That, and the only way that they can truly do that is by putting you in a war and putting you on the front line and sacrificing many of your sons and daughters. Okay, so be very mindful about that. It's bigger than cops shooting people at this point. It's bigger than that, because they wiped out a whole generation with the Jabberwocky, and niggas still woke up the next day and went to work. Okay, they still participated in the system. Do nothing. These niggas are brushing their teeth with fluoride. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. We got them. We got them. They don't have no fight in them, and that's unfortunate. You know. You know what I'm talking about? That's unfortunate. But anybody that's going to participate in that concert with Kendrick today, salute. Y'all have fun. Y'all turn up. Y'all go ahead and crip walk to free the slaves. You know? Rumor has it, I forgot how to pronounce the brother's name. I believe his name is Currico. What's the brother's name? He got the YouTube channel where he drops all of the receipts about the Aboriginal, the truth about the Indians and whatnot. I saw a video that he did a year ago where he was breaking down Juneteenth, and he said when those was Indians that got freed. They didn't run down on Africans that were enslaved in Galveston. He showed the receipts that those was Indians, melanated Indians or Indians. Okay, he broke it down. I used to stay in Alvin, and I would drive up to Galveston and whatnot. Feel me? You know, a lot of rednecks. You know what I'm talking about? They was all up and down. A lot of rednecks was out there. You know? So, you know, this history is coming out. Let's not get rocked to sleep and whatnot. Let's not put our energy behind nothing that's not real. So I'm not running around this strong and talking about the slaves got free and to free the slaves. Nah. The mental slavery is realer than the physical right now. The mental slavery is realer than the physical right now. So we owe it to our higher selves. We owe it to our education. We owe it to quote unquote solving these mysteries to keep on keeping on. Not rocking me to sleep. You know what I'm talking about? Because I got a day off where I could kick up my feet and do a little bit of barbecuing. I'm thinking that the slaves is free and there's nothing much that we have to do, Red Pill. Let's just go to Target. No, nigga. What are you talking about? Yeah, Galveston is an island. You know what I mean? Port City. Okay. The Karankawa Indians of Texas. Please do the research. You know, them Buffalo soldiers and whatnot, the melanated people that was out there killing them damn buffaloes for them crackers. Yeah, we gotta talk about them. You know what I mean? We gotta talk about them. Who was the traitors in Texas? Who was the traitors? Who was riding with the enemy? You know what I mean? Who was out there dusting our people off and killing off them buffaloes and whatnot? Who was working for them folks? All rodeos ain't good rodeos. Cowboy Carter. You know? All rodeos ain't good rodeos. Just because a nigga coming up with a pulling up with the cowboy hat, don't what that's supposed to mean? There was some trading going on. There was some, you feel me? There was some crossing taking place. There was some double crossing taking place. We got to let's talk about that. You know? Shout out to Texas. Yeah, I know. You know? Yeah, Drake is in Texas now. We got Aubrey and Galveston. Where he at? He said, I'm gonna colonize Texas. Now that they called me out in Atlanta, I'm gonna go and colonize Texas. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a long summer. Look out for that Texas, that Drake Texas flow. Yeah. He gonna be with Sauce Walker and them niggas. Look out for that Drake Texas flow coming at you. You know what I'm saying? We're about to colonize Texas. There's a lot of niggas just lining up, ready to get colonized. They need that stimulus package. You feel me? So there's more to talk about, but we not gonna hold you. We an hour and a half into this thing. I'm gonna let y'all get back to your business and whatnot. For everybody that's gonna be in the building on the 30th, put a 1 in the chat. You know what I mean? Put a 1 in the chat if you're gonna be pulling up to the Eventbrite, to the lecture that we got on the 30th with the sister Vicky Dillard and Blue Pillar. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie. Don't forget all of the sacrifices that happened in Texas. Yes. Yes. That's right. That is true. Let me not even say that. Sauce Walker is a real one when it comes to he ain't going for that. That's right. He did call him out on his BS. Shout out to Sauce Walker. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Kirk O'Bang and a few other. You know what I mean? I know he ain't going for that. And rest in peace, Takeoff, the Rocket. You know what I mean? On his born day. That was yesterday, right? Rise in power to Takeoff, and he's gonna get justice. We gonna will that into existence. You know what I mean? Oh, word! I didn't know he was Garifuna. Yeah, shout out to Sauce Walker standing on business and whatnot, and not letting them people play with him. You feel me? But I want to thank everybody for their time on this day, you know what I mean? And I you know, I appreciate y'all for the feedback that we was getting. We was chopping it up. Rising power to Triple X. Wow. Okay. So Triple X got assassinated today, or was it yesterday? which happens to be Takeoff's born day. Interesting. Yeah, Triple X, he was a messianic one. And they tied that one. They were trying to implicate Aubrey in that one. Because he tweeted, if anything happens to me, Drake did it. That's what that Triple X said, because they was beefing and whatnot. They had big beef. And whatever he had said to him offline, Triple X said, if anything happens to me, Drake did it. Now, if you know anything about when somebody put money on you, you know, they don't go on Instagram and say, I put money on this nigga. You can't necessarily trace that because money talks. And there's always somebody out there willing to do something for a few dollars. And them boys knocked them off for a few dollars. Remember, Triple X got killed for 50 bands. You dig? But who knows? I'm not gonna put nothing out there that, you know, them boys went to trial and they told on each other, and it is what it is. They got life. So, you know, his spirit, you know what I mean? The same way the Tupac spirit and the same way the Biggie spirit have come back to force some type of justice. Feel me? Same way that it's come back to force some type of justice, right? We will see. We will see. You know? Yes, please channel that message if he's coming through. But we live in this day and age where you're not going to get away with a lot of the fuckery. These things that are buried in shallow graves will come to pass. You feel me? This I know. This I know. So one of the most egregious things that you can do on this planet, in this life, is to take another life. That's one of the most egregious things that you can do. Cannot do that. You know? Okay, Takeoff birthday is the 18th. He was a KK, yeah. Kershnick, Kari Ball. All right. And then you got Kendrick doing his thing today in LA. Yeah. But yeah, we brought his name up and he's been tapping in with you, Ascending Infinite Goddess. So that, I guess that's the quality, that's the verification, that's the stamp right there. I would love to see what it is that he's tapping into. Trippy Red as well. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So the show continues and show must go on. And, you know, we on top of it. You know, like I said, the research that I'm doing for this When in Rome shit, it is crazy. I have about 30 different quote unquote items to present to show you that this nation or this empire is in steady decline, similar to all Roman empires that have fallen. Okay. I want to say something to anybody that may be listening to this and you living high on the American hog and whatnot. You know, you should, you know, I know that America has perfected comfort zones, making niggas feel comfort, because you could go to Target, you could go to Sam's Club, you got cable and whatnot, you got 100-inch screen TVs that Sean Kingston sold you, you know, you got credit scores popping, you know what I mean? You just living high on this hog. But I would say to you that this hog that you living high on, it's a stolen hog. It's a diseased hog. This hog got worms, you know? Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke. This is part of the illusion. If you were to travel the world and come up out of America quickly, you would begin to see that this is not what it is all cracked up to be. You would also begin to see that there's a lot of people around the world who have they have gripes with this empire. You're not part of the empire. Don't claim it. Don't claim it. You're not a part of this empire. You don't need to claim it. You could be in it and not of it. But this shit is falling. That's a fact. It don't have strong legs to stand on. So I'll just leave you with that. When in Rome, do as the Carthaginians do. You feel me? Figure out a way. When in Rome, do as Hannibal does. You feel me? Be a warrior. Stand on something, because I promise you, you don't want to stand with these folk. Your arms is too short to box with these niggas. You don't want to stand with these folks because they're not gonna, they don't have nothing for you. You know what I mean? The devil gives you nothing. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm talking about? When you look at other people's gripes against your country that you call home and whatnot, and you take that shit personal and whatnot, just know why other people are looking at this bitch like it gotta come down. You know what I mean? When other people are talking crazy about America or the USA and whatnot, just know why they doing it. Because I will not I'm not putting on their fatigues. I'm not throwing a flag on the fight for them. I'm not doing none of that. I'm standing on what I'm standing on. And when it comes to the government, I'm governing my mental, and I'm going to take care of my own without these people, without sitting on a lap and suckling from their quote unquote breasts. That's like Remus and Romulus. I'm not going to suckle for them. Give back to Caesar's what is theirs, my nigga. Give back to Caesar's what is his. You feel me? That part. So with that being said, I'm out. Love and light to the fam. We'll see you tomorrow on Third Eye Thursdays. You dig? Peace.